Hi everyone, look at these really sweet junk mail envelope pockets. Want to know how I made them? Well, stay tuned, we're about to go in. Yay for junk mail envelopes. Hi everyone, it's Linda with a really fun project today. What do I have on my desk? I've got some junk mail envelopes. Yep, I've got 2 of them here. I'm going to join in on this envelope craze going on right now. I seem to see things being made out of envelopes left, right, and center. I have these 2 envelopes. Who doesn't have junk mail envelopes? I don't know. Is there anybody on the planet that doesn't get a ton of junk mail every single day? I've got so many envelopes, I'm going to use them. Okay, so for today's project, I stumbled upon this book at a thrift store, Basic Gardening. I love the images in it. I love the color, and I thought this would be really good on one of my junk mail envelope journal pockets. So I'm definitely going to be using some of this. I may even scan some pages. So what are the supplies I'm using? Glue, of course. Use your choice of glue. I'm using art glitter glue and my glue stick, scissors, naturally, a knife and ruler, or you could use a paper cutter. I tend to like the knife and ruler lately. Bone folder and a pencil. I may need to make some marks and a bone folder. I just like to use the bone folder to make nice crisp edges and also to smooth out the paper once I glue it down. That's it. Simple, simple, simple. I went ahead and went through that gardening book and cut out some images so that, this video doesn't become, hours long. And I kind of know exactly where I want to place some of the images. So all I did was open up my pocket. I got rid of the tab, and I sliced open that right edge, because when I fold it over into thirds, I'm going to have 2 pockets there, one there and then one behind it. Yep, 2 pockets plus the top pocket on the top. This is going to be a 3-pocket journal insert. You could use this, or it could even be used to stand alone. All right, so I'm going to be using frayed burlap to ink, and I did not put that on my supply list. You don't need to ink. This is always my option. I love to ink. I love grunge, but you don't have to. You do you. I do me. But this could be applied to anybody. All right, so I'm just going to ink everything around. I'm going to ink all the images, and I'll be back. All right, so the envelope is all inked up, and I did go a little further into the margins so that when I glue down imagery, there's no white showing. Now I'm going to take advantage of that flap being open right there, and I'm going to insert the first image behind the window. I'll ink that up, and I'm going to glue that in. Okay, so that's inserted, and I'm loving it. Doesn't that look pretty? Yes. I also found this image for the front flap, and I'm just going to ink it up, and that's going to be glued down. I will have to cut it to size. And instead of slicing it away, I think I'm just going to fold it over the back so I have a nice crisp edge on the front right there. That edge right there, I think I'm just going to wrap around and glue to the back of my pocket. I think that'll look nicer. Here I am fitting it to the front pocket, and I need to tear that bottom part away. So I'm going to get my pencil out, and I'm going to just make a couple of marks where I need to cut the bottom away. But I think I am going to leave that wrapped around. It's going to give me a nice crisp edge. Yeah, so that's all I have to get rid of, that little edge on the bottom. And I'm going to use my ruler and knife to just get rid of that. Yeah, let me square that up. I'm never remembering to do that, and I don't know about anybody else, but I have the hardest time getting straight lines because I'm always in a rush, always looking for the shortcut. But today I'm lining it up on my pad, my cutting pad, and I'm just going to slice that away. Does anybody else find the ruler and knife a nice, quick, fast method besides me? All right, so the piece is gone. I can ink this up and glue it down to my pocket. I'm going to use my glue stick for this part. I'm not using art glitter glue because it grips too quickly, and the glue stick, I find that I have a little bit of maneuverability with the paper. And I'm going to glue it down and we can move on. The bone folder came in handy to smooth that down nicely. And now I'm ready to glue around the pocket. Like I said, I went through my gardening book and I'm just going to look and see where I want to place everything. I do like that stalk along the edge. I'm liking that image for the bottom, and I think I'm going to cut that top image in half and use just the top portion of it. And this is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle to me. Here comes my pencil out to mark where I need to cut, and I just do a couple of trims with my knife and ruler, and I'm going to be ready to glue those pieces down, and I'm loving the way that this is coming out. Now I'm going to cut those images to size, one for the top border around my window and one for the bottom border around my window. I will ink those up and glue them down. All right, first one's in place. Let's get number 2 in place. Oh, geez, I am really loving the look of this pocket envelope. Really love it. I'm going to size that up. I did ink it, and the stalk gets glued down onto that margin around the window. Look at how pretty that looks. All right, I'm moving on to the next step. I'm going to glue the first flap of that pocket down onto the other side of the envelope. This will create one of the pockets. And before I glue the second one down, I want to put a notch in it so that it's obvious that that's going to be a pocket. And since I'm removing that notch, the back of the inside of the envelope is visible, so I'm going to punch a half circle out of another image that I find in the book, and I'm going to cover that a little area. There's my little image. I'm going to notch it, ink it, and glue it underneath where I've cut out that notch. Now I can glue down the rest of that pocket, and I've made my 2 front loading pockets. While I was looking at that top loading pocket, I realized, oh, you could see the inside of the envelope from the back. I don't like that at all. So I am going to cut a piece of image, something from my gardening book, to glue into that inside edge, and you'll see me do that in a moment. And that will eliminate the unsightly inside of the envelope. I also didn't cut away the top edge there. I wanted to leave that to fold over so I have a nice, neat, crisp edge on the top of the envelope pocket now as well. I love the way it came out. Now to the next envelope. This envelope's going to have a very nostalgic feel to it. I found these images in my stash. I don't even remember where I got them. But let's get going. I kind of know how I'm going to place everything, but first I have to open up that side edge of my envelope. I'm just going to slice it open with a knife. I haven't done that yet, and then I can continue on. First, I'm going to glue the image behind the window of the envelope, and I'm going to tuck it in there. And once it's in place and secured, I can ink the envelope. I could have done the inking of the envelope prior to that, but I did it afterwards this time. Next, I am going to be gluing down the image on that front pouch. I am not trimming away the excess on the top because I want to fold it over to conceal those raggedy edges. That way I'll have a nice crisp line at the top, a nice fold. It'll also give me a little bit more stability. There you go, beautiful. Smooth it down with my bone folder. Now I'm going to use that gingham on the bottom margin. First I'll ink more of the envelope so that it's not so white behind it. I'm marking it with a pencil where I need to cut. I'm using my ruler and knife to trim what I don't need away. And again, I overcut because I'm going to fold it to the back. Incidentally, I didn't decorate the back of any of these envelopes on camera, but I did and will decorate them afterwards. And I encourage you, in case these stand alone, if you're going to be gluing them down into your journal, you do not need to. Okay, I'm going to cover the other two panels. I've got my cornstalk, and I don't even know what that was, some wheat. I think it was wheat. And the envelope will have all of its panels covered, and we'll be ready to decorate just like the other ones. I love the way it came out. I'm going to punch the notch, and I'm going to do just like I did with the other two. I'm going to cover that hole, the notch, with another piece of paper, decorative paper, because I don't want it to be visible. I'm using the gingham for that. I'm also going to use the gingham to cover the inside flap where you can see the inside of the envelope. And I'm going to fold that over onto itself also so that I have a nice clean edge, because sometimes the envelopes can be a little raggedy when you open them up. This one had that raggedy edge, so I'm gluing it on the inside, and then I am going to flip it over, and I'm going to see how raggedy that edge is. Once I flip it over to the back, I can fold it nicely, and now I have a nice, smooth, clean edge, which I love. Now I'm ready to glue down those front pouches. So I'm going to glue the first pouch, and then I will glue that second layer to the front, fold it over, smooth it down. Oh my goodness, I'm loving it. Now pocket one, pocket two, and the top pocket. And now on to another pocket. It's so much fun to do, you're going to find them addicting. I'm going to follow the exact same process, so I'm going to speed this video up a little bit more. I'll put some music on, and I'll see you back in here when I'm ready to decorate. And there it is. Oh, here are all three of them. I think the bees are my favorite. I do love the gardening and the nostalgia too, but the bees really speak to me. All right, next to decorating, I'm going to start with the gardening one. I've already gone through all my stash and pulled out some bits and bobs, bits and pieces, because that could take forever to sort through them, as you all know. And I settled on these two labels. I wanted to pick up the green. I settled on these two labels. Do they have anything to do with gardening? I don't think so. Does it matter to me? No, it does not. And then I have this rub-on, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to use one of those botanicals on here. So I'm going to take out my glue stick, glue down these two labels. I do ink them, glue them down, and put them in place. Yeah, I just love them. What is it about labels? I don't know. What is it about numbers that I love? I don't know, but I do love them all. I'm always looking to buy labels, make labels, cut out anything that I can use as a label. It's an obsession. I know. I know it is. It's an obsession. Okay, moving on from labels. I chose the botanical that I wanted. I rubbed it on, and I am now looking at more labels. Can you believe it? Another label that's a rub-on that I decided I might need to put it right there. Right where, yeah, that's where it's going. Another label, of course. I love it. All right, moving on to my nostalgia. I picked out a few stickers and labels, of course. Something there, this one, the sticker says something about beef and whatever. And I figured, all right, it goes with the cow, beef products. And then the label has something about dairy. And I was like, all right, you know what? It's got to be used. It's meant for this. Meant for it. So there it goes, right on. And I don't cut it off. I'm just folding it over. And I think that one's done. On to the bees. I selected a few labels, of course, and I think I have a few numbers that I'm going to stick on here. Of course, I am inking, naturally. I'm still using frayed burlap. Throughout this whole thing, I used frayed burlap. Wrapping that around, sticking it on. I love labels that hang off the edge. And instead of cutting them, I could cut them and use the other half someplace else, but I don't. And I decided to use a rub-on label on the bees as well. Did I want to use something else? No, I did not. I love the rub-ons. Okay, that one's done. That was fast and easy. Look at how pretty they all are. I just love it. 3-pocket, standalone, or stick it into a journal. You're not going to be sorry you made these. I just love them. They're really, really sweet, aren't they? I thought I was done and I realized I didn't put a notch in the B envelope. So I just did that. I inked the thumb hole. Now, finally, they are all done. And don't they look sweet? Nostalgia, a gardening, and a bee. They're all so different and so much fun. I did end up decorating the back. You will enjoy making these. Trust me, one isn't going to be enough. That's it for today. I hope to see you the next time. Bye.